Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now in the world of boxing, we'll concentrate on the welterweight division. It's a little movement there. First of all, the baddest dude in the welterweight division, if you got to pick one, you're going to probably go with Errol Spence Jr. And I'm going to be damn near with you. Got like a little question mark there. Errol Spence Jr., he's been there for forever. That's his only weight division so far. But, you know, Errol Spence Jr. has proved that he's awesome, right? Even, first of all, to come back after a car accident of that magnitude and fight Danny Garcia, who is just ridiculously awesome, is already, and then dominate him pretty much like no one has done Danny Garcia before. You know, and matter of fact, speaking of Garcia, even Mikey Garcia, yeah, he was smaller, but you're just not going to dominate a Mikey Garcia, right? Even if he's smaller, right? You're just not going to really do that. So he's done some things, you know, and Kell Brook beating him over in Sheffield, right, to gain the title, right? Had the ones that had the title at the time a little bit shook. Everybody didn't want to give Errol Spence a title. Shot, right? So Errol Spence, we're gonna give him the moniker of the baddest welterweight, right? And he's signed now, just coming back off retina surgery for his eye, torn retina. He's gonna fight in a unification fight against Yordenis Ugas. And Yordenis Ugas is a Cuban brother. You know, I think he's about 29 and 4 with 12 KOs, if I can remember. I haven't looked at his record recently, but if I can remember. Right, doesn't have a high knockout percentage, you know, 29 and you know 4 with 12 KOs, right? But he wins fights, even the ones he lose, you know, controversial, right? He has a loss against Sean Porter, and most people think he won that fight, which means it was close. So that means he's on the same level as the Sean Porter, and he's beat other ones. His latest win was against Manny Pacquiao, which a lot of people don't do, right? As a late replacement. So you know. Yordenis Ugas is the thing. He's good as well. Now, one thing I'm going to note, which I didn't want to get into it like that, but just a little sidebar. You know, when Manny Pacquiao had the regular title, the WBA regular title, people wasn't really trying to call it regular title, right? They really weren't, right? But Ugas got it, and people was like, that ain't the title. I'm talking about articles. That's not the real title, right? So it was good for him and Pacquiao to fight to, you know, finally find out who the baddest one is, and that would be Ugas. So he's going to be fighting Spence in a fight that I think is going to be a lot better than people think. Spence probably going to win that one, though, because of the lack of puncher power from Ugas, but it's going to be a good fight, right? So that's going to be in April. I think April 16th, if I remember. I didn't look right before this video. I looked yesterday. And so it's going to be in April, and that's a big thing because the unification fight, you know, the 3 belts are on the line. And so that gives us, you know, Undisputed is not too far away. So that's going to be big. I'm not extremely hyped about it, but I'm kind of hyped with Spence and Ugas. That's going to be all right. Now, I want to get to something, too, about Terence Crawford, right? Now, Terence Crawford is, you know, in the welterweight division now. And he's handled his business since he's been up there, knocked out everybody he's faced. The latest one would be, you know, Sean Porter. But that's you know, that's okay. I think knocking out Jose Benavidez was huge. I think knocking out Cavalicus when he was undefeated was huge. Matter of fact, Benavidez was undefeated too. I think beating Jeff Horn after he beat Manny Pacquiao, and people, I don't know why. I bet you people just say Pacquiao because you heard, you know, your boy Teddy Atlas ranting at the time when Pacquiao fought Jeff Horn, that we just, you know, and then we want to give Pacquiao a 10-8 round just because he was winning round 9, but Jeff Horn stood up. You know, and you just narrative, get you guys, watch the damn fight yourself. Jeff Horn beat Pacquiao. Yes, he did. And regardless, if you beat him, but we can agree that Jeff Horn and Pacquiao was a close fight. Well, Jeff Horn and Terence Crawford wasn't. There was distance there, right? So he beat the undefeated Jeff Horn as well. So, you know, Terence Crawford has been handling his business in his 3rd weight division. You ain't supposed to go to your 3rd one and still be knocking out people like that. You know what I'm saying? But he's doing that. And so he's in the division. And you know what I want to just address, right, is, everybody's talking about, which is ridiculous. Hey, Bud Crawford can't find a home. Bud Crawford, he's not selling and all this. And I've told everybody is this: Bud Crawford's not selling for one reason, and that's because he's too awesome to sell. Okay? You can't be black and that awesome and sell. What part of America people ain't understanding? What else has to happen for people to understand Terence Crawford's not selling because there is no one that's not of color who is going to beat him any damn time soon, and not all them years before. And because of that, right, that's why he was on the right side of the street. They keep talking about this side of the street like he wasn't with PBC. He made wrong decisions for trying to stay at top rank. Not really. I'm where Pacquiao is. I'm going to try to get him because just imagine this. For everybody to close your eyes for a minute. Imagine 5 years ago, your boy Terence Crawford fights Pacquiao. Then he's a megastar, isn't he? That's what he was trying to go for. It's not the wrong side of the street. And as far as that other side of the street, the PBC fighters, right? Well, he fought two of them. Felix Diaz was one and Jojo Molina was another, wasn't he? Or one of the Molinas, I forget if it's Jojo. But he fought Molina. So at the end of the day, he was PBC and Felix Diaz was as well. So the side of the street was already crossed, right? And all them ones on the other side of the streets, the Sean Porters, the Errol Spencers, the who else? Danny Garcia and all them, they would have fought Pacquiao, and Pacquiao was on the other side of the street. They were calling for Pacquiao, and he was on the other side of the street. Same side of the street as your boy Terence Crawford. So I don't think you're on the wrong side of the street when you're trying to be on the same side as the biggest star in boxing, right? You're trying to get that fight. It's the same thing as Demetrius Andrade. Oh man, you're making the wrong decisions. You signed with somebody. Man, I'm at the zone. Why? Because the face of boxing is there, Canelo, and the dude who's supposed to be so dangerous in Gennady Golovkin, and my mandatory and a new Mexican standout fighter in Jaime Munguia is there. That's where I'm supposed to be, with them. Why would I be over here with just only Charlo? Why? Right? Why? So we can cancel each other out? Right? I'm on the same side of the street and there ain't nobody talking about those fights. These dudes ain't on the wrong side of the street. They're trying to get the mega stars. It's just because of boxing narrative and people that are supposed to be saying other things. If you got a damn channel, you're not supposed to be talking about Demetrius Andrade and Terence Crawford on the wrong side of the street. You're supposed to be saying, damn it, stop being so damn racist. Don't give a damn where they are. Didn't my boy Devin Haney say he'll go to Jupiter? If the dude is on planet Earth and he can fight, right? And he's in the same division as all these supposed to be awesome dudes, what side of the street doesn't matter. The dudes that are awesome are supposed to be saying, hey, I'm getting him. You, my promoters, y'all better get it together because I can't have another guy in my division, right, who's supposed to be awesome. Like most fighters are doing. Right? The awesome ones ain't trying to have somebody else in their division. You think Alexander Usyk is going to just have somebody else in his division? He's not stopping until he's undisputed. That's what he did in Cruiserweight, and it went everybody's house to do it. Others could do that. That should be what we're looking at when a fighter does that. So I'm not going for it, as far as side of the street. I think Terence Crawford and Demetrius Andrade are just so damn good that no one wants to see them fight anybody. That's where the issue is. So when you get on here, you make sure to say that. Terence Crawford been over there with Pacquiao 5 years and they were scared. Pacquiao was scared. Bob Arum was scared, his promoter. But by Arum, the only props I'm going to give by Arum on this is he said it publicly. I don't want to see Pacquiao get hurt from Terence Crawford. Now, mind you, Terence Crawford was moving up in weight. A skinny little dude who they didn't want the main guy, Pacquiao, to get hurt from. And I will repeat, have you heard Pacquiao might get hurt by anyone else ever? Hurt? Might be beat, but not hurt, and we're worried about his well-being. Only with Terence Crawford. I don't care if people can ignore that. That here is a badge of honor. Okay? Because I don't hear that with Pacquiao. I've been around too long. I've been seeing Pacquiao do all this stuff, and ain't nobody was fear there. And if Bob Arum comes out live and says it all over the place that Pacquiao, I'm trying to save him, I don't want him to get hurt from this guy, Pacquiao was supposed to man up and say, hey, hold up. I ain't trying to have you say that. You better get me this fight with this so-called I'm scared fighter. Didn't happen. Media, didn't happen. Same thing with Andrade. Media, Canelo, we ain't happening. Even if it's undisputed, ain't gonna happen. If Canelo's his mandatory, ain't gonna happen. If he moves up to 168 now and becomes Canelo's mandatory, it is not going to happen. So, similar to what I got to say about Devin Haney versus Kambosos, or if Kambosos fights Ryan Garcia, boycott Kambosos versus Ryan Garcia, boycott anybody that ain't fighting Terence Crawford, right? Or anybody who did not fight Demetrius Andrade. Or we got a STFU, you know what I'm saying? And we don't want to have to do that, but that's the end of the day. That's what's going down. So, no, this Terence Crawford bashing is not what it is. Man, listen, the bottom line is the man can't get fights because he's great. Demetrius Andrade can't get fights because he's great. If they were whack, they'll be fighting everybody. All brothers that got 4 or 5 losses, they get way more fights than these guys. Why do you think that is? Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm about to here, y'all.